and welcome to Check 1 2, where we talk to survivors, advocates and supporters of testicular cancer awareness here at the world famous podcast studio Glasgow. Today's guest is Mark Frith, who is a singer-songwriter from Wigan. Mark's had a storied career with the Troubadours, touring Japan, having hits out there and really kind of setting the music scene ablaze. Mark found that he had testicular cancer. His sense of humour really shines in this episode, and it's such a great conversation to have with somebody who, you know, really embraced, you know, life after cancer and is really charging forward, and it shows how much having a testicular diagnosis can change you as a person for the positive, and how that mindset can just suddenly click in, especially with Mark being a creative person and how this interacted with his songwriting recently. So ladies and gentlemen, Mark Frith.
I'm a musician. I started playing the guitar when I was a kid. I got into a band, did really well, toured some of the world. Had a number one in Japan, toured with the likes of Paul Weller, did like Glastonbury V Festival, and then come out of that, and I still play music, I still write songs, got a little studio in my house, so I write songs, I do artwork, I do all kinds, I just keep myself busy, and I've just put some money into a bar, and that's where I am today. I'm sat in a van with loads of workmen. And I said, I need to go for a minute and do this podcast, and they're all kicking off. So yeah, I've got myself half an hour break here, so lovely. But yeah, I'm in the middle of doing a bar, so that's my next venture. And so for me, it was kind of, I think it was this time last year, actually. Yeah, it was. It would have been around this time last year that I noticed, like, one of my testicles getting really, really a lot bigger than what it was, should we say.
Yeah.
And quite frightening at first. And I think, like a lot of lads, because I've had a lot of people speak to me, you know, a lot of people have come up to me, like I play gigs and I've got a lot of people like come up to me, like, and they don't want people to know, do you know what I mean? They've not told anyone, they've gone through it. Whereas I didn't do that. I stupidly put it off for a couple of months. Excuse me, sorry. I put it off a couple of months going to the doctor, like I think every lad does. Oh, I thought I've knocked it. I've got, you know, at first I thought it was a sexually transmitted disease because, you know, you go on, everyone does it. They all go on Google, don't they? And they Google what it could be. So I think I found out that it was, you know, one kind of STD. It can get in the sac around your testicle and inflame it. So I've gone to the doctor and I'm telling the doctor it's that, you know what I mean? And the doctor went, Mr. Frith, I'll tell you what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm, no, it's that. Just give me some antibiotics, I'll be fine. It's just that. And she went, no. We need to examine you. So I had the examination. I think I left it about 2.5 months before I went to the doctor. Right. Stupidly. And every time someone comes up to me now, I say, go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Straight away. Don't even examine me. She went, right, I need to send you for an ultrasound. So that's the first thing. Because I know a lot of people will be watching this who's gone through it themselves, so they'll know that. But I want to do this, and I'll be promoting this when it's finished, and you send it to me, and I'll be sending it out because you go to an ultrasound. So I live in Wigan. I'm from a Scouse family, but I was brought up and I grew up in Wigan. I lived in Liverpool for a bit, then I come back to Wigan. So I went up to Wigan Infirmary, had an ultrasound. I went up with one of my best mates who I grew up with because I was panicking, like every lad would be, you know. And had my ultrasound, and I heard that they can tell you there and then if it's a cyst or anything like that. And they said, we don't know what it is. So then I'm panicking even more. So then I go back to the doctor, and then they send you to the urology department, is it?
Yeah.
It's urology department up at Lee Infirmary. So I had to go up to Lee Infirmary, and that was the day that they come in, and he had another examination of me. He said he'd looked at the ultrasound results, and that was it. I was diagnosed with testicular cancer, and within a second, a Macmillan nurse come in, and I'm not the type of lad who needs a Macmillan nurse around me. Do you know what I mean? Holding my hand. I was kind of like, go away, mate. I don't need you to talk to me. He's like, no, some people take it. He said, I'm trained to talk to you like this, and which I do apologize for. So if he ever watches this, you know what I mean. I did kind of go like, mate, I don't need you to talk to me like this.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of them. You know, you deal with the problem when it gets put in front of you, and then you've just got to, right, what's the next step? That's all I want to know, right? What do I need to do here? So then they're amazing, aren't they? They kind of got me in. That was, I think, March 15th last year. I got diagnosed, and straight away, like I said, I didn't hold it in. I put it all over my Instagram and all over my Facebook, and saying, look, I've been diagnosed with this. If anyone's going through any of this, just go to your doctor. And I got it out there, and a lot of people respected me for it. You know, funnily enough, the first person who rang me, I still remember this to this day. I've become friends with Peter Reid, ex-Everton player,
Yeah.
England legend.
Yeah.
And I've been to Vegas with him the summer before, and he was the first person on the phone. It was surreal. He was like, "Are you okay, kid? You know, anything you need, you know, come to mind. Talk about football. We'll just shoot the gas or whatever. You know, we'll just anything you need." And like I was just in bits. And but like I say, the doctors were amazing. I think I got in to the operation to remove the testicle about 2 weeks later. I think it was the beginning of April.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I do talk a lot, by the way, as
No,
well.
keep
You know what I
going.
mean?
No,
I won't be
that's
doing any work.
no, I love this, man.
Yeah, so I went in to remove the testicle, and then hang on, I'm going back in. I know they send you for a CT scan, don't they? A full body scan. So I got that done within a week, and then I had to wait 2 weeks for my operation, and I heard nothing about whether it had spread or it had got, you know, how bad it was, and I was in bits for that. I think that 2 weeks was the worst of my life. I'll be honest with you. I think I was pretending I had pretending I was putting a brave face on it when I was outside the house, but when I was in the house on my own, I was you know what I mean. I was going through a little bit of internal hell there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know the doctors are busy and all that, but literally, I went in for my operation, and I'm sitting there, and I've got the gown on and the stupid socks and all that, and I'm ready to go in, and the specialist comes in who's going to perform the surgery. And he just dead flippantly just looked at his, yeah, today we're going to do this, 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 this. And I see you've got no spread I see you've got no spread from your CT scan. And I just went, my God.
Yeah. That's like for you. That's a big bit of news.
It was just incredible. I just started crying in front of him, and he's like, "What's up?" I said, "No one's rang me for 2 weeks and give me any results." He said, "Yeah, but they'll only get in contact with you really if it's bad news, really." I was like, "Okay, now he could have, sorry for swearing."
That's all right.
He could have told me that a bit sooner, you know what I mean? Yeah, he could have told me a bit sooner. That's the only thing for me. It was that 2 week period that was a living nightmare, because I've got a little girl, and I was kind of thinking, if it's gone, you know, you hear horror stories. I've got had a friend of mine who's become a friend through it. I don't want to name him. He may not want to be named, but he had it, and he got the news like me that there was no spread. And then within 6 months, he went back in with a stomach problem. He had a bad stomach, and it had gone to his stomach, and he had to have rounds and rounds of chemotherapy and all this. But he was like me. He kind of said, "Look," he said, "Mark, there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. You've got to deal with it head on." And it's made me, and I think it's made everyone who goes through it, you become so resilient, and, you know, when you become a different person after it, obviously.
Oh, definitely, aye.
Yeah, there's positives to it, isn't there? There's positives to it, and that's what you've got to thank as well. For all the negative that comes your way, you realise who you are as a human being, and what you can get through. And like I said, I just thought about my little girl then, and right, I just need to get through this. But you know, and you feel a bit of guilt as well, because I've had nothing but good news after it. So you feel a bit of like survivor's guilt. I don't know. Like you hear some horror stories about it going to the lymph nodes, and then it goes all the way through some people's, but some people get it in the brain afterwards. And I know I'm still early days. I've got to go for a checkup tomorrow, actually, at the Christie Hospital. And but every time I've gone for a checkup, I've had good news. And so
yeah, it's mad though, and even like going back to that, you know, when the Macmillan nurses coming to speak to you, I think that the biggest thing that happens with that is that you go, I don't need anybody to kind of kids gloves me. I just want to kind of bury my head down and get on with it. You know, it's like, and I think that kind of comes part and parcel. You're like, no, I understand when people need to have that interaction with somebody, but I was the same. It was like, right, I've just got to kind of use my sense of humor, my drive, just to kind of go, right, this is going to be okay. I don't know that necessarily, but I have to think that, otherwise I'll just be in bits the whole time, you know. So yeah.
100%. I mean, you said the sense of humor. The Macmillan nurse is talking to me, and he's like, right, so this is the procedure we're going to go through. Do you want a false one put it in? And I kind of went, yeah, have you got any that jingle or light up? And he didn't laugh like you did. He just like looked at me as if to say like, no, this is serious, Mark. You know what I mean? But I just put a bit of humor on it, and I would have liked one that got jingled. Do you know what I mean? I could have done a job as Santa Claus.
Yeah, you'd never be able to sneak up on anybody though. That's the thing. That's Mark coming.
That'd be a good thing. Yeah, I mean, they did a few things backwards with me, which I've not a problem with. But they sent me for. I've not a problem with looking back because it's all been good news. I mean, they sent me for a sperm donation to freeze some of my sperm just in case.
Yeah.
And they sent me for it after I've had my operation. So I turned up and the girl's gone. So the nurse has gone, so when's your operation to remove it? And I've gone, I've already had it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, they should have sent you here before it, really. But anyway, we'll go through with it. So I've done the business like you do. That's a weird thing, you know, being in a little room with a little plastic cup. I'll never forget that.
Oh, it's bizarre. Bizarre.
Yeah. I don't know what I was expecting. Barry White music or something while I was sitting there. I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, you just get on with it, don't you? Again,
yeah.
It just shows you how you can just get on with things. And I got a phone call later on that afternoon. Hello, Mr. Frith, we've got your sperm results in. You've got an above average sperm count with one testicle in. And I was kind of like, wow. Wow. I said, what was I like two in? They went, you've got no idea. We've got no idea. So I'm so lucky, and you know what I mean? But yeah, you hear about lads having testosterone injections and all this, and I don't know.
Aye.
So lucky.
Yeah. And did you need to get chemo and stuff like that after, or were you just the kind of removal and that was you?
They suggested one round of chemo. They said you don't have to have it, but the chances of it coming back reduced to 2% or something like that. And I just went, right, no brainer. I'll just do it again. Like yourself, like you've said, you just turn into this person, don't you? That's like, whatever needs to be done, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went for my chemo at the Christie Hospital. That was a weird experience, and it was so sad to see, because you're literally in church, like you'll know. You said, do you have chemo? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you see them, don't you? Like they're facing you, and other people are getting it done, and it's fucking eye opening, man.
Aye.
Absolutely eye opening.
Well,
and heart rendering. It's like.
I was talking to one of the guys, Todd, who's like a friend now, but I met him through doing stuff with Cahonas, and that was his big thing, is like when he went in, he's sitting there like young, fresh faced. Chemo was pretty all right for him, that kind of first few rounds, and he's sitting looking around, and it's all these people who are in the throes of years and months of chemo and just look ill, and he's like popping away after he's had his, and he felt that kind of almost like imposter syndrome of going, is this really happening for me? When you see all this around you, it's but then you kind of click into it, you go, no, but you've got cancer as well, it's it's a brain.
Yeah, they insisted with me about ringing the bell, and I didn't want to do it.
Right.
I kind of said, you know, like yourself, like you've just said, I'm seeing these people all around me who've got going through it weekly, monthly, yearly, and here's me just popping in to go for one dose, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
And it's like, but no, we insist on you doing it because it's a big thing what you're going through. And I was like, right, okay, I'll do it. You know what I mean? And again, it was again for awareness, and I put it on my Facebook, and you know, people were made up to hear the news and made up to see me ring the bell, and I'm made up. I've done it now. The amount of people who've inboxed me on the quiet who are maybe not like me and yourself who can. I just have to tell people that's how I deal with it. With me, I open up, and I want that support, especially from my friends and me. I've got like fans who like me music and like me as a performer, and that's what I needed. I need my best friend around me, and my family was a no-brainer. They're all amazing, my family, but I just needed that. You'll be all right, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I put it out onto all my social media because I've got a little bit of a following, but not. I'm not like Justin Bieber, you know.
Better looking, mate. You're better looking.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. Yeah, just had me teeth done, so yeah.
So you're all about it. But and that.
Looking after myself.
But that's an amazing thing as well, though. See that you've got that platform, though, and like you've got people reaching out to you. You know, they've maybe seen you live, or they listen to your music, and then they see your story and they go, "Do you know what? I'm going to chance it and reach out to this guy." And the fact that you're getting back to folk and that's the kind of community that you kind of want, and it's amazing to see.
Yeah, it happened to me 2 days ago. I'm flying out to Vegas again in a couple of months, doing a gig out there, and a lad who, funnily enough, when we were coming back from Vegas last year, we was in the departure lounge, and he was in there, and he come up to me. He says, "Hey, Mark Frith, I know you from Wigan." I was like, "Oh, hey, mate, you okay?" And he got a job out there with some betting company or something. And again, I'm not going to name any names.
Mm-hmm.
But he messaged me 2 days ago. He's got it out there, and he's had to go through all the American way of doing it. He's like, yeah, they're sending me for a CT scan in his abdomen. And I said, can they not do a full body scan, mate? I'd say get a full body scan. And he's gone, right, I'll go back to the doctors and say that. I don't know how they do it out there. You know what I mean? It was like, that's the way we did it in England, and that's what I went through. Plus, I'd want a full body scan because of just putting your mind at ease, isn't it? You know, it's scary, but if it's travelled and it's spread to your brain or something like that, I don't know why they're not doing that to him. So, yeah, I was just literally said, look, you can message me anytime, and I will do every step of the way. I'll be there with you. And I said, I'll meet up with you in February, end of February, when I come out to Vegas.
Yeah.
And we'll go for a coffee or a beer. So I've got no problem with anyone messaging me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and again, like hats off to you, mate, because it's we need more guys like you in the world who have been through it that are able to do that. Because not like you said, not everybody's like you and me and can just talk and kind of be open about it, you know. So it's a big scary thing for a lot of guys, like
Yeah.
So see we
go on. Sorry.
No, on you go.
No, yeah, I've had a couple of lads come up to me, don't want anyone to know.
Oh, really?
And and I'm kind of like, well, that's your decision. Do you know what I mean? That's your decision. Yeah, one lad come up to me at a gig after I had announced it in the March. I think I played the week after, and one lad just come up to me and said, "Can I have a word with you outside?" I says, "Yeah." And he kind of went, "I've had it done, and I've had the operation, and I just don't want anyone to know. It's not something that." I've just kept it to myself, and that's just my way of dealing with things. And I went, yeah, that's fine. And we've ended up with the same consultant at the hospital, the same results, no spread, the same everything. And he was absolutely brilliant for me. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was brilliant for me. He helped me all the way through. I like going for jogs and stuff like that. And I've had my operation, and I'm like, when can I go for a run? I don't feel right down there. Do you know what I mean? Like, they cut you, don't you, below your stomach, and I'm like, I don't feel right. He said, just give it 6 months, give yourself time, because I'm like, I just want to get back in with feeling normal. And my God, that first run, I didn't enjoy it, but I did enjoy it at the same time. It was like getting back to normality.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting doing nothing, but It was like you do need time for yourself, and that's what I've learned. That's the other thing I've learned from it. You need to have time for yourself and time for your emotions and your brain to process things, and look after yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people let a lot of things get on top of them, and you know, yeah. But yeah, I'm a waffling now, but I'm a good waffler.
No, I love it. But it's funny you saying about the run. I'm pals with a guy who went through it, and see this laddie, I swear, mate, he is a machine. He's a tree surgeon to trade, rugby player, and he was going out during his chemo and going, I've lost a couple of minutes off my 5K. And I'm like, I can't even get out my bed, and you're running 5K, like, some kid, like, yeah. But the question I was going to ask.
Oh, go on. Sorry, we're overlapping here.
No, you go again, mate. Honestly, I'm just, I'm just so interested in a lot of kind of different things as well. But obviously, like, having the kind of highs of your career and traveling the world, and obviously having like hits in places like Japan, and then dealing with a cancer diagnosis, like how did you cope with that mentally, having all that, like all these highs, and then having a diagnosis like that? You know, how did you cope mentally with that as well?
Yeah, I'm just I've got my dad's amazing at putting things. He's no nonsense, my dad, and he's just like, look, everyone has to go through shite in life to get to the good times. You've had good times early on. Now it's your time. You need to sort. Like, you're going through a bit of crap, but it won't be crap forever. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
Like, he's given me that way of thinking, and that's just the way I am. So yeah, it's the John Lennon quote, isn't it? There is no problems, only solutions.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. You get presented with something in front of you, right? What are the solutions to this?
Yeah.
How do I get through this? And that's just the way it is. And I know a lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people will panic. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people lose their heads, don't they?
Yeah. I think that depends, like where you are and where about in the world you are, and when you were born and when you grew up and stuff like that. I think, having, Wigan and Liverpool, they're very kind of like hard working class places to kind of have grow up as well. I think like the area that I grew up in Falkirk was much the same. You're kind of, it's just a different type of mentality, and it's that heads down thing, where you do get other places where you can be like, they maybe don't cope quite as well with stuff like that. But it's funny though, even that kind of stigma that even you maybe had for yourself, and that you thought it was an STD before you thought of anything else as well. And I suppose that just shows, like growing up, apart from maybe the couple of famous people, like were you aware of testicular cancer, or was it something that you were aware of that way?
Weirdly enough, I remember being a kid and like about 11 or 12, and it being on one of them stupid Good Morning TV, ITV or something, and a doctor would come on and talk about it. And I remember saying to me mum or saying to me dad that it doesn't feel right down there. And I went to the doctors to get it examined, and the doctor went, "No, you've got no problem at all."
Right.
But it's just mad how it stayed in my life, and I've ended up getting it. I think I've always, I've been aware of it since I was a kid.
Yeah. But I suppose it's good as well that you've seen something that's stuck with you. Whereas up here, testicular cancer is very rarely spoke about. If unless you were a Celtic fan and really kind of concentrated on like Stubbs and Hearts, and it was never really something you were going to talk about as such, eh? How is so after you've had that, you've had that operation, you've had your chemo, how has that affected you then in like writing music? Has that kind of change of a person affected how you go about writing music and what you write about?
A bit, yeah, a bit. What it's made me, and what everyone's noticed, I've become a lot more productive.
Right.
I started to appreciate that I'm good at music, and I'm good at writing music, and I'm okay I'm good at drawing, so I do drawings, and I do all, and I've just thrown myself at, like, I don't like wasting time. And just before I got cancer, I came out of a long-term relationship. I won't go into the details, but I'm glad to be out of it. And then I ended up getting cancer, and I've come out of that, and I'm like, right, I'm tired now. But I've just got this new rocket up my ass.
Yeah.
I'm just productive, and I appreciate what I'm good at and the talents that I've been blessed with. You know what I mean? I'm not a big believer in God, but I think I've been blessed with something, and to not use it and to not go with it. I mean, people are telling me to calm down. That's how bad I'm going. Yeah. People are like, you need to have a minute. I'm like, nah.
You're like, nah, it's all right. Okay.
Yeah. So that, yeah, you're completely right. And I'm sitting there, and I wrote a little song. I wrote a song. I've not played it to anyone. I've not even recorded it yet. But I plan on. But it's a bit too personal. It was like when I was going through that 2 weeks of hell, I wrote a song about, with my daughter in mind, and about not seeing her ever again, because I really thought I was gone.
Yeah.
I really thought if it spread now, then this is, do you know what I mean? And it's a bit too personal, this song, so maybe it needs editing before I record it. I don't know.
And mate, those are the, but those are the songs that make the best songs. They're the ones that are completely personal, though, eh?
Yeah. Maybe you're right. Just get it done, get it recorded, stick it on TikTok. I could be on Glastonbury next year. You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, it's quite a kind of personal challenge going through treatment anyway. Both physically and emotionally. You obviously talked about kind of like going out for a run, but now that you've kind of, like, you're saying that you've invested in the bar and you're kind of doing all that, is that kind of part of that rocket up your arse that you're kind of you're seeing within yourself?
I've just become the kid that I used to be.
Right.
I've become just got unbelievable drive in me again. I can feel it. It's almost like the beast is awake. Do you know what I mean? Because I was in, like everybody does. Everyone settles down. I had a little girl with and used to sit in the house and do nothing all night and watch Netflix and have your tea. And I don't do them things no more. I live on my own now, and I kind of I've got this drive to do things, and especially with what I've gone through.
Yeah.
Like, not wasting any more time. That's the way I'm feeling. You know what I mean? I'm not wasting any more time.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question, yeah.
Yeah, especially with like what you've done in, like, with your music career and all that as well. It's like you've had some really cool experiences within that. So then to kind of have all that life experience and then something that's quite traumatic to happen to you just kind of adds into the kind of the flavour that you can put into your music as well.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's got a life story, aren't they? And that's my life story, where I'm up to now. That's my new chapter, is that I've got through it, and fingers crossed I've still got through it, because I think they keep you on the checkups, don't they?
Yeah.
For a good 2 or 3 years. So, like I say, I've got one tomorrow, and then that's the last one of the year. So hopefully there's good news after that one. But even going through the checkups, I still go through the thoughts on the way to the hospital. I'm like, right, what if there's something comes up today that's like, prepare yourself again, Mark, because this might not be good news.
Yeah.
News today. Giving you like a stealth, like a real grit and determination that even if it is bad news, I can deal with it now.
Yeah.
I can deal with it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing as well.
I don't say that to myself a lot, and I don't go home dead proud of myself. I am proud of myself with everything that I've got through.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing with these, like, especially with a testicular cancer one, you kind of, you do find there is a little bit of pride. I think at first I was a bit scared to say that I was a survivor of testicular cancer, because I felt, like we were talking at the start, a bit embarrassed about that terminology, but then as time goes on and you realise what you've been through and you go, actually, no, I'm dead proud of myself for getting through something as kind of harrowing as that as well.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Yeah.
100%.
It's one of these things as well. Like just to kind of just because I like talking about music, are you got a musical family, musical background, or is it just as a kid you picked up the guitar because you were inspired to do music just because you liked what you were hearing as such?
No, I don't really come from a musical family. No, I think my nan played the piano, but she died before I was born.
Yeah.
So-called, she could play the piano. My dad can't even sing. My dad can't play the spoon. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just. I've got this story on a music podcast I did recently. They were like, where did you pick up the guitar? Like, I went to a Catholic school, and for some reason we went on a school trip to a nunnery. Now you know what I mean? I have no idea what we were doing in this nunnery, man. Especially what you hear these days. I don't know. But a lad on the trip had brought his guitar with him, and it was during the early days of Oasis and all that. And he was sitting there and he was playing Wonderwall. And I remember on the coach home just saying to him, like, is there any chance you could like kind of show me that? And he was like, yeah, I'll give you like. So I had a little go on the coach, and by the end of the time I got home, back to the school, I kind of nailed this Wonderwall. So
Right.
I've gone home to my half fella, and again going back to my half fella, being a proper old school scouser, I've gone, Dad, I want a guitar. And he went, listen, I know what you're like. I'm not buying you one because you'll just end up leaving it in the corner and not playing it.
Mm.
And I think this is the best thing my dad's ever done for me, the best thing he's ever done, because this guitar saved my life playing the guitar. And he said, I'll not buy you one. My boss has got one at work. I'll borrow it because he hardly plays it anymore. And if you get good on it, I'll buy you a guitar.
Mm.
Well, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. It's like a red rag to a bull. I remember seeing my bedroom every night, learning the guitar. Like my mates were knocking on the door, you're coming out drinking cider and doing the odd naughty things on the streets. And I was like, nah, mates, I'm staying in playing this guitar. And yeah, fella said he's gonna buy me one. So yeah, and I got really, really good in like 6 months. And he went, come on, I'll take you for the guitar.
That's excellent, man. I love that. Yeah. But it's typical as well. You look at the kind of rich history, the kind of music in Liverpool and obviously being Scouse, you know what I mean, and having that in you, it's like it's such a rich place to find these musical influences as well, eh?
Just amazing, yeah. I mean, I had records lying around the house from a kid. I had all the Beatles records. One of the first records was Help by the Beatles that I listened to, and I ended up going with my artwork. I ended up going to like doing like Winstanley College, it's called, but it was really good for art. It was like an art college.
Yeah.
And then you get into friends who are into like jazz, and you're a bit pretentious, but you're listening to all kinds, you're arty farty and all that. I'm listening to Captain Beefheart and all this progressive 60s psychedelia, and I just got deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And I've gone back to being that person again, because for a while I'd stopped listening to all them type of records, and I'd become a dad and I'd become a family man, and I'd put the idea of being a superstar to the back of my head because it never happened. So you were like, oh well, you leave that. You've got a little kid now. You need to grow up and do this, and it's going through what I've gone through brought me back into no. Hang on a minute, you've got this talent. You can write songs. You've got a studio in your house. I built a recording studio in my house. You can write for other people. You can do all these things. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop making excuses. You're putting like barriers up in front of you because of your age or because you've got a little girl. My mum said to me, so what? You've got a daughter. So what? It's not stopping you being who you are.
Yeah.
Did Paul McCartney down tools when he had a kid?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. Carried on writing it records and being brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing myself to Paul McCartney. Don't put that in. My God. Yeah. Just things like that. Just get back to being yourself, and And it is. I'm so happy. I'm the happiest I've been for a long time. And that's might sound mad to people watching this podcast after what like we've been through, but you appreciate what you've got. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've got a little girl. I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. I've got me guitars. I've got my own house. I've got businesses going. I'm doing fucking amazing. Like wake up and start celebrating that fact that you know it's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Again, like you say, I've got a check up tomorrow. I'm shitting myself, but I'll be all right.
Oh, you'll be grand. I think that's the worst part though. Like, see, going like I'm now past. Like, I've been discharged for getting my checkups. But see those see that first 3-4 years having to go back in, you kind of go right. That's the start of it, and you just feel
Here we go again, even though nothing might happen. Here we go again. Like,
yeah.
Every time I go in, I'm a little bit of the little boy comes out in me.
Yeah,
He's been with me every single time. My dad's been with me, fucking amazing. He just sits with me and has a cup of tea and just tells fucking stupid jokes. Yeah, we come from like, we're all Scousers. I mean, my cousin was on the my cousin's Colleen Rooney, who's just come second last night in the I'm a Celebrity.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, so we've all been
sitting glued to it.
Yeah, amazing. She's done amazing. But yeah, that's took my mind off it. But I'm going to the hospital in the morning. I'll be getting up, shitting myself again.
Yeah, it's but I think it's like, you know, like I kind of think like, you know, as well, like see like that kind of thing that led you to the doctors to go, I know there was something wrong. I think you kind of go, nah, I think everyone's going to be all right, but you still like, you are bricking it before. Before you go in. I think it's just like, see like hospital smells and stuff like that, they kind of make you feel a bit like, nah, this isn't good.
I'm not a hospital man, I'm not a doctor man, I'm not a dentist man, I'm a get on with it man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any secret problem, then go to the doctors, but
yeah.
I've changed. That's changed for me now. Any lad that comes up to me, I've had a few lads go, I've got, one lad wanted me to look at them. Honest to God, he come up to me and went, fancy coming in men's toilets, and I think I've got. I'm like, lads, I'm not coming looking at you. I'm not coming in there looking at your bollocks, mate. Just go to the doctor. If you've got any fears, go to doctor. It's such a macho fucking thing to like, you know, you think I'll be all right. You know what I mean? Fucking ignore all that bollocks. Just go. If you've got any fucking, sorry for swearing, but I'm getting passionate here. Any problem or anything like that, just go to the doctors. There's no shame in it. You're saving your own life. You know what I mean? It's like it can spread. It can just get it as early as you can, isn't it? And they say it's the most curable cancer if caught.
Yeah.
Early doors, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. If you think there's a problem, go. End of.
And that's the big thing, eh? It's like, it's trying to convince guys to, you know, like how many times will we like talk about our balls or drop our trousers for a silly prank or whatever, but going to the doctors will just not do it. You know, it's the craziest thing, man. It's weird that we as guys we do that, and I think that's the biggest challenge for us as Cahonas is even like when we're trying to reach out to like schools and businesses and stuff, you know, people who, you're talking about testicles. Oh, it's like, no, like we're trying to potentially save a young man's life because, you know, it sounds really grandiose, but like, I always say this, but you know, you know, Cahonas saved mine. You know, if I didn't find the self-check guide to find my cancer, you know, I might not be sitting here today, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's the earliest signs, and if everyone's aware of it, you know, just get the word. I talk about it freely, like you can tell on this. I've got no embarrassment about anything anymore, mate.
Yeah.
I don't, just come and talk to me. You can talk to me. Anyone who's listening to this, if you follow me on Instagram and you want to message me or message you, I know you guys will probably be doing it every other day. People will probably be messaging you guys, but anyone can message me.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm not busy painting a bar or playing in a bar or you know what I mean?
Yeah. If you were gonna you're giving advice to, you know, maybe somebody who's just about to start their journey as such, like they've maybe found a lump or they're about to go into hospital and things like that, what what advice would you, being so kind of fresh out of it, would you give to somebody at the start of their journey?
I'd just say, just try not to panic. Try not to panic. And luckily enough for me, there was a lad, like I told you, who messaged me straight away. Because getting that diagnosis is scary. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? I was in floods of tears on the way home in the car with my dad, and you know, I'm not a crier, and you know, I don't like crying in front of me dad. You know what I mean? It was like my dad was like, look, everything's gonna be all right. And I know it's not for a lot of people. I know sometimes everything isn't all right, but you've just got to just be strong. My advice is just be strong. You'll get through what you need to get through, and whatever's delivered in front of you, just know that you will find the strength to deal with it. I think everyone's got it in them to deal with what's been presented in front of you.
Yeah.
That and I don't know, maybe that's rubbish advice. I don't know. I'm just saying from the heart, because that's what happened to me. I was just like, right, you need to find the strength from somewhere inside you now to get through this.
Oh, that's not rubbish advice, man. That's great advice, because it's that type of like from the heart stuff that people need to hear, especially guys like yourself who have went through it, you know, out the other side of it. I think if, you know, people hear this, and anybody who's listening that's kind of, you know, looking for something to hang on to, like, it's great words to kind of to hear, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But I just want to say thanks very much for kind of coming on and having this conversation with me today, Mark. It's
not at all. As soon as you messaged me, I was like, yeah, 100% I'll do it.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. Because a lot of people aren't talking.
Yeah.
So I know, like I said before, a lot of people don't want to talk, but you've got the ideal person on your show today, because I don't shut up.
No, and it's great, especially like the fact that, you know, people are reaching out to you anyway because of your story. I think that's an amazing thing. You know what I mean? People are already doing that, and, you know, your inbox might get a little bit fuller. Yeah, you might have to start. You might have to start your own thing. You know.
It's fine.
But like I say, man, thanks so much for coming on Check 1 2, and I hopefully we can do something like this again. And if you're ever up in Scotland doing stuff, you know, come and give us a visit.